Welcome, dear viewers, to a journey into the shadows of history, a narrative often whispered about, yet rarely explored in depth. I'm Anton Garibus, and today we'll traverse the continents not only personally, but intellectually, shedding light on one of history's enduring enigmas, the Catholic Church's so-called Holy Inquisition. As a traveler of life and lands, I've encountered myriad cultures and histories, each with its stories, its triumphs, and, undeniably, its shadows. Today, we delve into a chapter that has influenced the course of belief and power, a chapter that many educational institutions, both schools and universities alike, often leave hidden in the margins of their textbooks. The Inquisition, a term notorious in European memory, where it echoes with the laments of those who faced its harsh judgments. Its legacy has, for some, reshaped faith into skepticism or given rise to an entirely secular worldview. This exploration is not just about uncovering the past, it's about understanding how history molds the present and whispers into the souls of nations. Join me as we embark on this exploration, seeking not just facts, but the truths and impacts veiled within. Together, we'll seek to uncover what makes this part of history so compelling, and perhaps why it remains such a pivotal, albeit uncomfortable thread in the tapestry of human civilization.
Imagine a world of vibrant colors, lush rainforests teemed with life, mountains pierce the sky. This was the Americas, a land of diverse cultures and ancient traditions. But paradise found itself on the precipice of change. Ships appeared on the horizon, bringing with them the promise of gold and the shadow of God. The year was 1492. Columbus's arrival in the Caribbean marked the beginning of a new era. It was an era of exploration, yes, but also one of brutal conquest. The Spanish conquistadors, driven by avarice and ambition, carved their way through the continent. They came bearing the cross and the sword, a devastating combination for the indigenous populations they encountered. The clash of these two worlds, the old and the new, was catastrophic. Indigenous peoples, who had lived in harmony with nature for centuries, were ill-prepared for the ruthlessness of the European invaders. They were regarded as heathens, ripe for conversion and subjugation. The conquistadors, fueled by their sense of religious and racial superiority, embarked on a campaign of terror and domination that would forever alter the course of history. What followed was a systematic dismantling of indigenous societies. From the Aztec Empire in Mexico to the Inca Empire in the Andes, ancient civilizations crumbled under the weight of Spanish might. The conquistadors, armed with superior weaponry and a thirst for gold, toppled empires and enslaved populations. This was the beginning of the dark legacy of colonialism in Latin America, a legacy inextricably intertwined with the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church, a powerful force in Europe, was not content to remain on the sidelines of this new conquest. The Church saw an opportunity, a chance to expand its spiritual empire alongside the Spanish crown. Missionaries, often accompanying the conquistadors, fanned out across the land, carrying with them the gospel according to Spain. But conversion, in this context, was rarely a gentle persuasion. The Church, through the dreaded institution of the Holy Inquisition, established its authority with an iron fist.
Welcome to our deep dive into one of history's most infamous periods, the Catholic Inquisition. Established in the 12th century and reaching its terrible peak in the 16th, the Inquisition left an indelible mark on the tapestry of human history. Today we'll uncover the methods and instruments used during this dark chapter, delving into the shadowy corners of our collective past. Join me as we embark on this unsettling but necessary exploration of the Catholic Inquisition. The year is 1184. Pope Lucius III issues a papal bull ad abolendam, formally establishing the Inquisition. Europe grapples with social and religious upheaval. Heresy spreads, seen as a threat to Christendom. The Inquisition aims to combat heresy. It identifies, interrogates, and punishes deviants. Often, the line between heresy and dissent blurs. The Inquisition's reach extends beyond dungeons. From Spain to the Americas, it instills fear and obedience. Central to the Inquisition's reign of terror was the systematic use of torture. Justified as a means to elicit confessions, torture was a grim spectacle orchestrated with chilling precision. Inquisitors believed physical suffering could cleanse the soul, leading the accused towards repentance. Methods like sleep deprivation, waterboarding, and the estrapado were just a few examples of the horrors inflicted. The cries of the tortured echoed through dungeons, a chilling testament to human cruelty in the name of faith. The Inquisitors' tools were as ingenious as they were horrific. The rack stretched the victim's body, tearing muscles and dislocating joints. It symbolized the Inquisition's power. The Iron Maiden, lined with spikes, inflicted unimaginable pain. Enclosed within, victims were pierced with every movement. These instruments served as a reminder of dissent's price. They were designed to break the body and shatter the will. The Inquisitors themselves were a complex and often contradictory group. Driven by a mixture of faith, ambition and fear, they saw themselves as guardians of orthodoxy, protectors of the true faith. They were scholars, jurists and theologians, tasked with upholding the sanctity of the Church. Their methods, however, were often brutal and unforgiving. Trials were often a mere formality, the verdict predetermined. Interrogations were conducted in secrecy, with the accused denied legal representation or the right to confront their accusers. The power of the Inquisitors was absolute, their authority unquestioned. They held the fate of countless individuals in their hands, dispensing justice with a chilling blend of piety and ruthlessness. The Catholic Inquisition, with its reign of terror lasting for centuries, finally began to wane in the 18th century. The Enlightenment, with its emphasis on reason and individual liberty, challenged the very foundations upon which the Inquisition was built. But the scars left by this dark chapter in human history run deep. The Inquisition serves as a chilling reminder of the dangers of religious extremism, the seductive allure of power, and the fragility of human rights. Even today, the legacy of the Inquisition continues to spark debate and controversy. It is a stark reminder of the human capacity for both good and evil, a cautionary tale etched into the annals of history. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. It's been a harrowing exploration, a glimpse into the darkest corners of human nature. But it's vital to remember and learn from our past, even when it's painful. The echoes of the Inquisition still resonate today, reminding us of the importance of tolerance, justice, and the unwavering defense of human rights. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.
The Inquisition, notorious for its brutal methods in Europe, found fertile ground in the Americas. Its mission to eradicate heresy and ensure the dominance of Catholic orthodoxy. Indigenous religions, with their rich tapestry of beliefs and rituals, were deemed demonic and dangerous. Sham trials were held, often conducted in languages the accused did not understand. Accusations of witchcraft, idolatry, and heresy flew like poisoned darts. The consequences were swift and brutal: imprisonment, torture, even death by fire. The flames of the auto de fe, the ritual burning of heretics, cast a long shadow over the land, a chilling reminder of the Church's absolute power. The Inquisition's reign of terror, spanning centuries, left an indelible mark on the indigenous psyche. It instilled fear and obedience. It drove traditional practices underground, forcing indigenous communities to practice their beliefs in secrecy. The spiritual conquest of Latin America, carried out under the banner of Christ, was a story of violence, coercion, and the systematic suppression of indigenous faith. The conquest of Latin America was not just a physical struggle for land and resources, it was a war for the very soul of a people. The Spanish, in their zeal to impose their own culture and beliefs, embarked on a campaign of cultural genocide that sought to erase indigenous identities. Language, the lifeblood of any culture, became a target. Indigenous languages spoken for centuries were deemed primitive and unworthy. In their place, Spanish was imposed, enforced in schools and government institutions. Generations of indigenous children were forced to abandon their mother tongues, severing the threads that connected them to their ancestors and their heritage. The destruction extended to every facet of indigenous life. Sacred objects were destroyed, deemed idols of the devil. Rituals and ceremonies, passed down through generations, were forbidden and driven underground. Traditional forms of art, music and dance, expressions of the soul, were suppressed and replaced with European forms. The goal was clear: to create a new society, cleansed of its indigenous past, a mirror image of Spain itself. This systematic eradication of culture, this attempt to rewrite the history of a people, left deep scars on the indigenous soul. It was a wound that would fester for generations, a constant reminder of the violence inflicted upon their ancestors. The arrival of European Catholic missionaries marked the beginning of a dark chapter for indigenous communities. These missionaries, often backed by colonial powers, exploited the native populations, stripping them of their lands and resources. The indigenous people were coerced into labor, their traditional ways of life disrupted, and their spiritual practices suppressed. This exploitation led to widespread dispossession, with entire communities being uprooted and displaced. The impact of these actions reverberates through history, leaving a legacy of injustice and suffering. Despite the immense challenges and hardships faced, the spirit of indigenous America endures. The resilience and strength of these communities have allowed them to preserve their cultural heritage and traditions. Today, indigenous peoples continue to fight for their rights, reclaiming their lands and asserting their identities. Their stories of survival and resistance are a testament to their enduring spirit. This enduring legacy serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of preserving and respecting the rich diversity of human cultures.